if we learn about Hashem, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, if we listen and hear, we listen about Hashem, and we connect with it, and that becomes a part of our perspective. So the word V'ahavta, which generally you'll see translated as "and you shall love," V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha, you shall love the Lord your God. You shall love is not the only translation of that word. The simplest, most obvious translation of that word, actually, most literal, I mean, they're both correct, but the simplest and most face value, obvious, literal translation of the word V'ahavta is, and you will love, not and you shall. It's a statement of fact, and you will love. It's also an instruction, and you shall love. It's both. So generally we translate it as an instruction, and you shall love Hashem your God, which it is. But the truth is that the real instruction is one pasuk earlier. The real instruction is listen, understand, learn about Hashem, hear about Hashem, listen, understand. That's the instruction. And then the pasuk tells us, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. If we learn about Hashem, the one true God, the God that's one, then V'ahavta, and you will love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. It's a statement of fact. It's an outcome. The instruction is not to love Hashem. We can't force ourselves to love Hashem. We can't engineer love. Love is not voluntary per se. But what we can do is build a foundation that will lead to love. We can learn about Hashem. We can think about Hashem. We can understand as much as we possibly can about Hashem. Shema Yisrael, hear, listen, learn, connect. That's the instruction. So the Torah tells us, you are obligated to listen, to learn, to understand and connect, and then V'ahavta, and as a matter of fact, the outcome of that is, and you will love Hashem your God with all your heart, soul, and might. So we can't just switch on the love, but we can put ourselves in a position in which loving Hashem is an automatic outcome. And the way that we do that is learning about Hashem, Shema Yisrael, listening, hearing, learning, understanding. The more we learn, understand, and listen and hear about the true nature of the Creator, whatever that means, we will naturally grow to love Hashem. Loving Hashem will be an outcome. We can't switch it on directly. I mean, the truth is, this analogy just popped into my head. I use this analogy for a number of things, and there was just some cake baking on Erev Yom Kippur in the house, so it's on my mind. I guess it's in my short-term memory, in my recent memory. If you want a cake, you can't just will a cake into being. You can't. Willing a cake into being is not possible unless you're Hashem. I'm not. So I definitely can't do that. But there are things that I can do. Number one is I can go buy a cake. But let's say I want to have a cake that's made in-house. I can't just will the cake to come into being. What I can do is get the ingredients, combine the ingredients correctly, follow the method in the recipe, combine the ingredients in the correct way, in the correct order, etc. Put it into an environment in which those combined ingredients will then become a cake, i.e. an oven at the correct temperature for the correct amount of time, and then I will have a cake. Right? I can't just will a cake into being. What I can do is organize the ingredients, and when the ingredients are in place in the correct way and the correct method is followed, the outcome is a cake. It's the same thing. I can't will love for Hashem into being. It's not possible. What I can do is take the ingredients to create, to generate, to cultivate love for Hashem are, number one, knowledge, information, understanding, awareness about Hashem. The more we learn about Hashem, the more we have the correct ingredients in play. If the correct ingredients are there and the method is followed, the outcome is a cake. If we have the ingredients for loving Hashem, i.e. actually knowing about Hashem, those are the ingredients, the outcome is, then we will have love for Hashem. Not because we willed love into being. You can't will a cake into being, and you can't will love into being. You can work on the ingredients for the cake, and then what happens is the outcome is the cake. We can work on the ingredients of love for Hashem, and the outcome is love for Hashem. That's what the Torah is telling us. Step number one is the ingredients. The ingredients are Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Listen, hear, learn, understand about Hashem, and then you can love Hashem. Not only and then you can, and then you will. V'ahavta, and you will love Hashem. And it's the same thing here when it comes to loving our fellow as ourselves.